everybody. This is Pastor David here at the Community Church of Mount Pleasant. I hope you will forgive my messy desk. This pile, I'm about to get to that and clean that off a little bit. But my piles are very organized, I promise. Every pile has a purpose. This pile is my visitor cards, and you'll see from the last few weeks, we have a lot. I mean, we have lots and lots of people visit our church, and I try to go through these cards and look over the names and the address, find out where people are coming from, and gives us a lot of information. Pray over the cards, and so a lot of good piles on my desk. I'm glad you let me visit today. I want to talk about a couple things. Obviously, Wednesday is our Hot Dog Wednesday, 11 to 1. I hope you get to come sometime. It's the third Wednesday. I believe we're adding a bake sale to that, so all kind of fun things going on. Wednesdays here. Wednesday nights are always full of events and excitement, and then a really important date is this Saturday. This is the day we celebrate our happy birthday, CCMP. This year we're celebrating 8 years. It's hard for me to imagine that I am 8 years older. I used to have black hair when we started this church, and now I do not. My hair is white, and I think a lot of you probably had some hair to add to that. But it's been an amazing journey, and we're excited to celebrate 8 years. This Saturday, I hope you can come 2 to 4. Now, we got a barbecue sale going on all day, like 10 o'clock on, as long as it lasts. Now, don't wait. Don't miss the barbecue. It's $10 a plate, and you know how good our barbecue is. So I want you to do that Saturday, and then 2 to 4 on the football field, on our campus, different locations. We'll have food and big bouncies and games. It's about sports this year. I know all our kids will be excited. So I want you to come help us celebrate happy birthday number 8. And so we'll do that this weekend. One more thing I want to talk to you about. We have an event coming May 5th. I have this in my bulletin. May 5th, we used to do a program called Discover CCMP. Well, we're going to kind of do a modification of that. We're going to do a Taste of Home. This is a membership exploration dinner. May 5th, we're going to have dinner here at the church. I believe that's a Friday night. And we are going to feed you. And this is open to everybody who has been attending our church. Maybe you want to learn more. And here's what we'll do during that time. We will answer some questions for you. Who are we? Where did we come from? What do we believe? What's our vision for the future? And where do you fit in? I want you to come. Maybe you've been coming on Sundays for a long time. Maybe you're involved a little bit, but I want you to come and learn more about what does it mean to be a member of the Community Church of Mount Pleasant. I hope you will. May 5th, put it on your calendar, and we're excited about that. Now let me give you a little devotional today. I want to turn over to Psalms, and I want to turn to Psalm chapter 90. This is a wonderful psalm, and I want to read you 4 or 5 verses from Psalm chapter 90. This is actually a different psalm. It's a psalm of Moses, a prayer of Moses. And I want you to listen to these verses. And I was prompted on this passage because it's our birthday. We're celebrating our birthday. And we counting the years, 8 years. 8 years old, and we're moving forward. So here's what the psalmist says here in verse 12. Teach us to number our days. Have you heard that verse? You probably heard that verse. Teach us to number our days. And that's what we do. That's what we celebrate. We remember when we started. We number those days. This is year number 8. We're ready to get started. We certainly celebrate our family, our kids. Birthdays are important because we remember those years so that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. You know what he's saying there? You need to learn from the past. You need to learn. If you're 8 years old, I hope you learned something in those first 8. If you're 80 years old, I hope you've learned something in those 80 years. Number your days so that you can apply your hearts to wisdom. Now listen to the rest of this. Return, O Lord, how long? Let it repent thee concerning thy servants. Satisfy us early with thy mercy. Moses is reflecting. He's thinking about the past. He's thinking about all those things. Now, I want you to know that Moses went through some hardships. Now, there were some wonderful victories, but there were some tough things. Listen, Satisfy us early with thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad in all our days, all of our birthdays, all of the years. Lord, satisfy us so that we can rejoice. Make us glad according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us. Now, there were some tough times in the history of Moses and God's people. There were some bondage and some battles. Isn't that true with us? Aren't there some days we remember that were tough seasons? I spoke on the phone today with a family. They just had a death in their family, and it was a trauma. It was tragic for them. They were unprepared for this loss. It's a tough thing. It's a tough season. But then he says this, make us glad according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us, and the years wherein we have seen evil. We remember those I remember in our 8 years, I remember looking back. There were days that in this church that we had doubts. I remember they shut us down at the barn. Said, you cannot meet here. You're in violation. You have some zoning issues. We had doubt. We had fear. What do we do next? I remember that. It wasn't that long ago. And then we have hope. That very next Sunday, God prepared a place for us in the Mount Pleasant Elementary School. And then there were times of obedience when we didn't know what was next, but we had to just trust God. We had to say, God, I don't understand, but I trust you. And then there were days of uncertainty. You know what, my friends? I'd like to tell you that we have everything figured out. We have everything planned. I don't know. Easter Sunday we had over 1,200 people here. I don't know what we're going to do next. I don't know. I told the Lord, look, God, if you send them, we'll make a place for them. And He is. And so there are uncertainties about finances, about the future, about staff, about our community and ways that we can serve our community better. But you know what? God has got us through 8 years. And this Saturday we celebrate 8 years. Ups and downs, goods and bads. But God ultimately is in control. There are so many victories that we're going to celebrate. And then here's the prayer, verses 16 and 17. Here's the prayer that we close with. Let thy work appear unto thy servants, and let thy glory unto your children. Let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon us, and establish thou the work of our hands upon us, yea, the work of our hands. God, you get glory for everything about it that you're doing here. So, Saturday's our birthday party, 8 years old. We celebrate. We learn from the past. We realize that sometimes things are hard. That helps us. And Lord, in the future, I pray that you get glory for everything that goes on here. God bless y'all for letting me visit today. I hope you'll come and see us sometime soon. We love you, and we would love to see you. God bless you.